What's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com, and today I have an email that I'm going to read that I thought was pretty exciting. I love getting emails where people are telling me about how they've changed their lives or how they've been impacted and how they've actually taken action or taken responsibility for their lives. And I get a few of these. This one in particular struck me because I did some videos that were hard to do. Honestly, when I do some of these videos, you guys, that tend to piss people off, it's not easy for me to do these videos, right? Because I know that what's best for my business, what's best for growing Simple Programmer and making money is to not do these videos, is to take a neutral standpoint, is to water down some of the truth that I feel like I have to share. But that's not going to help you the most, right? That's what I could do. That's kind of the weasel way out. But when I get these tough subjects, when I get subjects like someone emails me about honestly struggling with pornography and masturbation, I'm going to answer that, right? When someone gives me this whiny story about how they're underprivileged and all this, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to deal with topics like white male privilege, right? This is one of the videos that was referenced here, or Obamacare, where people are going to get upset about this kind of stuff, but I'm going to tell it to you how it is. And it doesn't mean that I'm 100% correct all the time, right? I'm definitely not. I'm far from it. But I'm going to give you, like it's often said. I've said it multiple times. I think a few people have used this kind of phrase of having strong opinions but loosely held. So that's what I try to do, is I try to, if I believe something, if everything points in that direction, I'm going to give it to you strong. I'm not going to be wishy-washy and tell you, this is maybe how it is. I'm going to tell you this is how it is. I'm willing to revise that viewpoint, and I do over time, right? If you watch me and you watch my progression, anyone in life who's actually progressing should be a flip-flopper, right? They should be someone who says, contradicts themselves quite often as they gain experience and they gain wisdom over time. Anyway, I want to get to the email because I thought that this was a great email. I'm not going to use any names here. I want to keep this anonymous. So, if you send me an email, something like this, I'm obviously going to be sensitive to the fact that you might not want your name shared all over the place. Not even going to use a first name here. But I got this email and it says, "Hi John," or "Hey John, I recently sent you a tweet thanking you for proceeding with this profession in which I seriously love. I also was very critical in the past about your stance on, quote, white male privilege, non-existence, and also Obamacare." So I pointed to those two videos. I personally am a progressive, but then I started reading Ultimate Power, A Black Choice by Tony Robbins and Joseph McClellan II. The third. So I actually didn't know about this book. You can check out this book here. I am a big fan of Tony Robbins. I'm actually a big fan of Joseph McClellan. He's really, really awesome guy. I got to interact with him at UPW. That's Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within. You can see the video I did on that. But he's really, really just a funny, great guy. Just, all around great person. So I didn't actually realize that this book existed, but he says here that he started reading Ultimate Power, A Black Choice by Tony Robbins and Joseph McClellan III. I'm an African American myself, which showed me something that I was personally lacking: the power to take charge of my own life and not just drift in the wind. But if I do drift in the wind and are knocked off course, that to take charge of yourself, not to think of it as failure, but as an outcome or lesson. Oh, so powerful. This is it, right? This is the whole thing. Is like, think of things this way, right? It's not, you have to take charge of your life, and when things set you back, it's a lesson. It's not failure. It's going to teach you something. You're going to grow in some way. That's why that I say that adversity produces growth. Adversity is actually vital to growth, and it is a good thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Some of the worst adversities that you face in life are the things that make you stronger, that make you grow. So I'll continue on. He says, "Listening to the other books by Tony from my library, luckily they have an online audiobook site, coupled by what you have said in your videos, I have been thinking of trying to empower others as well as improve my own skills. awesome. I have begun working on a blog, gathering my thoughts and help those that are starting both in the software development industry, journaling, as Tony has spoken about constantly, and about also Grant Cardone also spoke of it. I also finished the 10X Rule, which you can check out here, or you can check out the review I did on the 10X Rule. Love that book, awesome book. Helping my wife with setting up her at-home business and giving her positive vibes. Fantastic. I am so happy to hear this. This is the right attitude to have, right? To take charge, to take power, to try to empower others, to share it. This is awesome stuff here. And you can't go wrong reading 10X Rule. That's awesome. He says, I just finished your learning a second programming language video. You can check out that video here. And I have to totally agree with you as well, because last year I learned Ruby and felt totally wasted my time because I had no practical use for the language. Whereas on the fly, I learned PHP and also the Titanium framework to use at work. I've decided that either after or before I'm done with Ultimate Power or Black Choice, I'm going to start teaching myself full-fledged Android development, because I have friends of mine that are going to be getting involved in a project to develop a new app. That's pretty cool. He says, I just want to close by saying I value what you say every day and make time for you in my schedule when a new video comes out. I know you probably hear these messages a lot, but I wanted to let you know that you have been my Tony Robbins. That seriously means a lot to me. That's a very high compliment to me, and have empowered me to be a better programmer and person, to let me be emboldened by my goals and to not let someone else's goals determine where I go. And for that, I am grateful. All the best and eternally grateful. So all I can say by this email, that I haven't said already, is that thank you. I'm humbled. Honestly, this is a very high compliment. I more so than complimenting me. I'm excited. I'm excited for you, and for everyone else who's taking this to heart, who's actually taking action in their lives, who's actually going forward and facing the hard truths, because these are hard truths. Some of these things, some of you, I understand, you've come from backgrounds where you've been taught to be a victim. You've been told it's okay. You've been given this kind of mindset. And when you hear these things that greatly conflict with your worldview, it's very difficult. But when you overcome, when you say, no, you know what? I'm going to take charge of my life. I am going to do something about this situation. It may not be the best. It may not be what I want, but I have power. I am taking power in order to make the changes in my life. I can't control everything. I may not be as successful as someone else who had more advantages in life. I may not be able to achieve every single thing that I want in life, but I'm going to do what I can with what I have right now, and I'm going to expand what I have and the influence that I have by taking charge, not blaming other people, always taking responsibility and using adversity as a tool to sharpen the steel that is my resolve, rather than to let it cut me in half. That is the attitude. That's what I'm freaking excited about. Thank you. If you like this video, if you want to get some powerful advice on how to change your life, how to take action, how to improve your career, whatever it is that you want to do out of life, I would encourage you highly to subscribe. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that is my mission and I love it. I will talk to you next time. Take care.